10 seconds.
And so, folks, we return for game number 2 in a best of 5. It's DK versus IG, your GEST Challenge Grand Finals. All the Southeast Asian hopes have been slain. It's all Chinese Dota. All Chinese Dota all the way. And, well, IG currently leading the charge. They lead 1-0 in the best of 5, but it is a best of 5. So we'll see if DK can mount the comeback. Of course, I'm LD, and I'm joined here by the one and only Cinder. Sin, how you doing?
Doing just as well as in game 1, if not a little bit better. So, looking forward to another game, which will hopefully be a little bit closer. I guess when we go into a series like this, being a best of 5 and all, there's generally 1 or 2 games which are very one-sided, but as I said before the series even started, I would be shocked if this was going to be a fully one-sided affair. So I think DK will bounce back. They'll pull themselves together and especially pull off a better early game with their supports, as we talked about a lot. The previous game just snowballed too hard for IG, and I don't think DK are going to let it happen the same way again. Doom is going to be first picked here for IG. Did go through the first phase here, and what do you think? Yeah, well, why not? Let's try again.
Yeah, this is, well, I'm surprised that DK is giving this here away, honestly. They banned the Invoker. I guess the way they look at it is they either get Doom or Void, and I think even though DK picked the Mirana first overall last game, I believe it was, I still view the Doom and Void as, especially after last game, as the higher priority picks. And, well, I don't know if giving away Doom is worth it, Sin, but I guess we'll find out. Doom is just, this hero is just ridiculous. Like, honestly, I'm surprised he took as long as he did to catch on. The Chinese teams were starting to realize what a powerful hero he is and first pick him, but even then, teams had experimented with him on and off, even as far back as, like, MLG Columbus. Eternal Envy had the, you know, he had the Lich Frost Armor plus Ogre Ice Armor, you know, 50 armor Doom game, and the hero's been strong for a long time, but teams have only started to figure out the past month or two.
I think the biggest change that happened to Doom as far as the competitive scene goes is that people realized how good Aghanims is. I was one of the people who was like, why would you ever get Aghs on this hero? It's terrible. But then when you actually read what it does, it is pretty sick. And it's starting to become the norm for Doom players that rather than going for this kind of aura beast, you go for the Aghs Refresher build where you effectively lock down 2 heroes, and as long as you're in the middle of the team fights, like, how do you lose a fight like that is the question. It's almost impossible.
It's not just the Aghs, it's also the Refresher Doom, because at that point it's 5v3. Like you said,
really
how
is.
do you
That's
lose
so
that
insane.
fight? I think the way you lose that fight is if a team has Aegis or buybacks. Like, to me, the counter to Doom is basically buybacks. There's a few heroes that match up well against him. I'd say Razor matches up quite well because if you pop, or Death Prophet, if you pop your ultimate before the fight breaks out, it continues even through the Doom. And these heroes tend to build tanky, so they don't care as much. But that being said, it's, you know, it's not really a counter. It's like a hero that's not as bad against Doom as others. So, yeah, I don't know. If it gets even no matter what you draft, I feel like if you give away Doom, you don't want it to go that late. Like, you want to end the game before 50 minutes.
And the thing about the Aghs on Doom that I wasn't aware of when I judged it was that I remember the version when Aghs was implemented, so that when you had Aghs, you know, if you stay inside 900 AoE, the Doom doesn't tick down. I thought that was what the Aghs upgrade did, but the damage upgrade is insane. It's, what is it, a level 3 Doom does 16 times 110 damage. It's like a 1700 something damage ultimate. You just click it on the target. I mean, how's that not completely insane, right? And then with the Refresher, and if you stay in the area, you can easily do 2000 damage to 2 heroes. So, pretty crazy stuff. We're going to see the Shadow Demon this time picked up by IG, so kind of similar to what DK did in the last game against the Void. They picked the Shadow Demon so they could disrupt the target in the Chrono, but this time we've got the things spread out a little bit more. It's not Mirana and Shadow Demon in the same team, and now we have DK picking up the Shadow Shaman, which is really interesting to me to pick this early, because I don't think IG had any plans of taking that in this game.
Yeah, to me, this is all about the Roshan now. So DK, they get the Shadow Shaman. They had a very weak Rosh lineup before this, but with the wards, if they find the right openings, they could take the fight. Interestingly, I think their bans are very unusual here. They banned Bristlebacks, so the IG have run in the off lane from time to time for YYF, and it is a pretty good just tanker that can live through Chrono and then be a nuisance in round 2 of the fight. But yeah, banning Lone Druid is, I can't even remember the last time I've seen IG run that hero. That is very curious.
Ooh. One of my personal favorites here that doesn't get picked so much. He's starting to see a little bit more play after he got the buff to Lightning Storm, but Always love to see Leshrac played. Such an entertaining hero. Tons of spell damage, a lot of positioning involved. The stun is very hard to land, but very rewarding. A great skill. And maybe we've seen. I think it's mainly been Empire that have been trying Leshrac in a core position since the buff to Pulse Nova. But I'm expecting IG to play it as a support. Of course, the combo between Disruption into Split Earth is easy to land and is really powerful. But I would love if this was a core, but I doubt it against the DK heroes. You probably don't want to run a core Leshrac into this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see a core Leshrac, and well, now they go for the TA, so looking more and more like a support. To me, Leshrac is it's almost even an extreme case of the support Mirana in some ways, where if you don't get a lot done in the laning stage, yeah, in theory Leshrac scales well with farm, and he does have a stun, but it's not really a reliable stun. You need the disruption to set it up every fight, and he's so squishy. That hero is he'll die to collateral damage. You don't even really have to focus him in team fights. And the support Leshrac, we saw it once yesterday in DK versus Newbie. Did not go well. They got a few kills in the laning stage, and then you go into the mid game, and you're basically fighting 4v5 because unless he gets farm, he's food. So we'll see if IG can make it work. But
he is one of the supports that does manage to find farm if he has a good start, though. Like his abilities are really good for farming the jungle and for pushing lanes, and I think a mistake that is often made by teams that play support Leshrac is that they don't let him farm. Sometimes you can even let one of your core position heroes step down for a little bit so that Leshrac can either get that Bloodstone or get those 2 bracers or something like that we've seen. It's really impactful to just get some health on this hero, and he pays it back threefold if he gets farmed. So, but like you said, he is squishy. If he has a bad game, he has a really bad game. There's generally not bad Leshrac games where Leshrac comes back. Then it's his team winning. So I'm with you on that, but we'll see what IG do. What do you think about the TA pick into Death Prophet ult into Mass Serpent wards? I feel like there's so much damage over time here, or many instant damage, multiple instance damage rather, that will just remove Refraction here. I'm not quite sure about that pick.
Yeah, Refraction is... It's not going to be so good this game against the Death Prophet. I guess the main thing here for IG is they needed a hitter. They have the Doom. He's going to be more of the utility offlaner, and DK don't have the best heroes to gank TA early on. So I think she'll have a pretty good laning stage, but it's more like later on in the game. How much will she offer? You can't hide from the Void. You meld, he's still going to chrono you and right-click you. Death Prophets will quickly remove your Refraction, and I think DK are threatening IG a lot after the laning stage here, Sid. Like, they get to level 6 on Shadow Shaman and Death Prophet. I don't even know if they need the medallion, but they can just go into the pit at any point, and how do IG engage into that? They don't have a great initiator. They have Doom. But maybe if they get a blink on him, he can be the one who jumps in, but I really like DK's position in this draft if they get through the lanes. They just have such good Roshan control, and I think IG will have a tough time stopping it.
Yeah, well, we're gonna see what DK goes for as the last pick here. Of course, their pushing power is pretty insane. They're gonna get the Viper here, another good hero against the Templar Assassin, and I believe I saw a stat that TA has the highest win rate for the previous version of all heroes, or for this version even. It's like 60%, which is very, very high, but I think a big part of that is because it's such a great last pick. In some games, TA is just incredible if there's not a lot of multiple instances of damage, and if you have a good matchup in mid, but in this kind of game, I have a hard time seeing TA being very impactful. I think DK have drafted very well against locking TA down now, and when you look at IG's heroes, I think a lot of the responsibility actually lies with the TA, so I'm curious to see how they deal with this. I think no matter how much farm TA gets, this is just a hard game, even if you have free farm for 15 minutes.
Yeah, running her against Void is already tough, and now with Viper, it only gets harder. I really like the way DK is drafting into the Doom as well. They see the Doom pick and they go 2 tanky cores. Actually, I guess you can say 3 since the Void will probably be building like Ags and going for, your Initiator 3-position Void style. So at that point, you've got 3 tanky cores, heroes that get doomed, and they're still tough to bring down during the Doom. And also running multiple cores against Doom, to me, is the smart way to play it. Now, who do you Doom? Do you Doom the Void? Then Death Prophet goes ham in the fights. I think Void's probably your #1 target, but if he gets off Chrono at that point, I don't know what you do.
It's an offlane Void, though.
Yeah.
So he is basically the Chrono, which I think is really cool here for DK because we've seen other Chinese games. Sorry?
No, that's okay. Go on.
We've seen other DK games or other Chinese games in general where Doom is just so impactful against the carry void because, like you say, he gets the chron off and then he hits hard. If you get Doom, though, you're kind of nothing in these fights. But if he dooms Ice Ice Ice, he's dooming the. I'm assuming Ice 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 will be the third most farmed hero on the team. He is played as position 3 here, but that's not a guarantee in either case. But you can't really expend a Doom on this void because then Death Prophet and Viper just go too crazy. But then again, dooming a Death Prophet that already used ult, like we talked about, is kind of useless, and dooming a Viper might not be that good either, because it's... I really favor DK a lot in this one, to be honest. I don't know if you agree. Just draft-wise, I think they got a really good trade.
I think IG just have to win the lanes. Like, I feel DK can lose the lanes and still win, and I think, obviously, if they win the lanes, they're in really good shape. But IG, to me, especially with the Shadow Demon Lesh combo, have to win the laning stages. It's like a more extreme reverse case of last game, where I felt like DK, as you pointed out, you run Shadow Demon Mirana, you've got to find some kills, but this game, it's even more so that they have to have a really strong start. So, yeah, I'm on board with you. I generally prefer drafts that have multiple ways to win, either early, mid, or late, and DK's draft definitely fits the bill in that regard.
Yeah, this tri lane for IG, though, is pretty damn strong. I can't see DK winning this lane, and the thing is, it looks like they're actually going to walk into this lane and try to take this. So, Burning will be playing... Oh, actually, let's just introduce DK really quickly so we can get on with the lanes. We're going to have Mushi playing as the Death Prophet in the top tri-lane. So tri-lane Death Prophet together with Lanham on Shadow Shaman and MMY on Mirana again. He's probably going to be performing a little better than last game. Burning will be playing as Viper in mid, and then Ice 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 in the off lane with 9 tangos and a Salve in the Void. I think he's going to be okay against the solo Doom.
Yeah, I don't know if they're expecting the aggressive tri-lane, and, well, Ice 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 has got a bit more regen than he'd like. I mean, at this point, you'd rather just have the early boots, or even a Quelling Blade if you expect the 1v1 matchup, but, yeah, we'll see how it works out for Ice Ice Ice. He won't be leaving the lane anytime soon, and meanwhile, on the side of IG, we've got YYF in the aggressive Chine as the Wind Ranger. This is like an orange esports TI3 style tri-lane. Just very aggressive, anti-farming tri-lane. Just look to shut down whoever's here top. Chuan on the Leshrac. Faith will be playing the Shadow Demon. Solo mid, we do a 430 on the TA. He's going to have his work cut out for him against the Viper. And that leaves Luo as the Doom. Yeah, 430 is, he's going to have a tough time here against the Viper, I feel. We'll see how well he does.
Whenever there's Faith going up really far here.
Left stun will connect, and that's on Lanham. This is the easiest hero of the tri-lane to kill, and not a good start for DK. Pretty far out of position there, to be honest.
I love this choice from IG. We mentioned how it's important that they get off to a good start in the early game here, and they realize they have the way stronger tri-lane. They run an aggressive tri, and whenever you're playing tri versus tri-lanes and one lane is winning heavily, I think that's the recipe to the shortest possible game. You can't win a game faster than if you crush a tri versus tri and just snowball off it, unless you're running some sort of a cheese Roshan level 1 push strategy or something like that. DK are already pretty heavily on the back foot, and it's only 1.5 minutes in and it's been first blood, but the problem is they have to adapt to this. They cannot play this lane. But then where do you go? Do you run an aggressive tri-lane Void now with the supports down here? Looks like they might try that. IG can just move around and have more impactful supports right now. They're level 2. That's such a big deal for Leshrac and Shadow Demon. It upgrades their damage by about 50%.
Yeah, you get the Soul Catcher now, you've got the Edict if you want it, although Tron has actually gone Lightning Storm, which does have that 75% slow for a half second now, so it's been upgraded a bit, and it seems IceFrog wants to encourage people to not always go for the Edict build, so let's see how it works. Faith did make his way down to the top rune, it was spotted, and IG will go back top, so they continue to put pressure on the Death Prophet. Meanwhile, you mentioned Lanham rotating bottom, but really, this is not an easy kill on the Doom here. Luo's already got
very
boots.
obvious.
Yes.
Luo is completely aware of what's going on, and this is already reminding me of game 1. It was the same with Luo's Invoker. DK tried to rotate, and IG were just ready for it. It's the same story once again. And in the top lane is... Oh.
They're going to pressure Mushi here, it looks like. Draw the wave back and dive him under the tower.
Yeah, looks like it.
Dire's top tower is under
Well,
they're going all in here. Are there any TPs on DK? No. There aren't. He's just dead.
Poor Mushi. It's like, what do you do? He'll tango his way through. He'll run out the other direction, but they've got a disruption to find him here, and the splitter should be coming soon. Is the time just right? Yes, it is by Tron. Power shot connects, and the lanes are already totally falling apart for DK. So, like, what do you do at this point? Oh, that'll help. They get the kill bottom on Luo. Just caught the tail end of
did
it.
manage. Luo was like, okay, I can't believe it. This Shadow Shaman has to leave at some point. Nope. Lanham actually hung around here for like 1.5 minutes before he started moving in for that kill, but yeah, this is a really important play for K to get something out of it. Doesn't really matter where they get the kills, just get some levels on your supports. Lanham is now level 3, Mirana's still level 1, but he's leeching some experience from burning mid to get the level 2 for the leap skill point, and maybe they can find some other kills then, because this top lane is just flat out lost. Mushi won't farm, the tower is already down to 1/3 HP because of the Basilius ring on YYF and the 2 kills, so see if DK can find some more kills here. Actually, Luo is going to find Lanham. And that means the mid lane gank will not be happening, I think.
Yeah, this is already a tough kill for Burning. He does have the 2 points of poison attack, but this early on, they don't have that much just follow-up damage after you move Refraction to kill him off. And actually, they have a single sentry in MMY, so they'd at least be able to see him if he goes into meld here. But 430 will rotate out, and now he's going to find Lanham. Uh-oh. This could be trouble. There are boots online, and Lanham should be able to make his way out, but the tower already falls. That's a tier 1 down top lane, and you know, often when we see teams take these early enemy safe lane towers, it comes at the cost of experience, but Sind, they've got plenty of experience here with the kills. We already seen a level 3 Leshrac, the Shadow Demons at level 3. They're actually getting the level advantage on their supports and taking the early tower. That is a big concern for DK.
The thing DK has got going for them is the mid lane, though. Burning has a very easy lane playing Viper against TA, and he's getting way more farm here than Ferrari is, and often, or at least in the past, I wouldn't say very recently, but let's say a month ago, Ferrari was kind of the driving force, no pun intended, behind IG winning a lot of their games. It was Ferrari making a big impact in the mid game, and he's being shut down quite a bit in this game by Viper, and he is on a very farm-dependent hero in TA, so we'll see if DK can get something off of that.
The timing not right here for IG. They go for the Disruption Soul Catcher. Follow-up stun, and the stun misses. Not that it would have mattered. DK descend in numbers, and they'll find us pick off there out of support, but it was a pretty big rotation to get that kill all the same. Yeah, nice pun, by the way. That's
yeah.
to be fair, I haven't given you much competition with some of my brilliant one-liners today. So.
I liked your Hawk joke last game.
My Hawkward comment.
Bot lane, Ice actually man-fighting against Luo here. I don't think Ice will win this one, and he will retreat. He has a lot of regen, though, so I guess he doesn't mind trading all those 9 tangos in south being put to use here. And rotation again, MMY on the way, level 2 in arrow. This is actually a pretty easy kill, but Faith is predicting this and is ready here with a disruption. This could be a pretty big play for IG here if they can just make this chrono get wasted, and they will.
Oh, there's a disruption ready. It's going to find him, and that'll block the arrow from coming through as well. Luo lives easily. Chrono now on cooldown. Just really nice anticipation by IG. And we'll see Chuan rotate in as well. He's got a smoke. I wonder if IG look to make a move elsewhere on the map. Burning's been just continue to sit mid and annoy the TA. Now up 15 CS, 14 denies. It's pretty much to be expected in this matchup, and well, 430, he'll have to catch up his farm elsewhere, but for the time being, the smoke not forthcoming. Luo still not level 6. He's actually been
have the best creep in the game, though.
Yeah, the heal creep. You're a fan.
Excellent trade-off. You trade 5 mana for 15 health. I mean, just get a soul ring.
I guess he hasn't had the best
previous level
yet.
strats by Sind.
Previous
Absolutely
level.
awful.
Oh, 430 tries to go invest, but he's already been caught by the Viper Strike with the Sentry coming out. Easy rotation for DK. You know, I gotta say, the one thing the one thing DK have going for them is Ice. He just destroyed this Doom in lane. 37 and 17 to the 17 and 4 of Doom. He got a fast level 6, but the wasted chrono really hurts there. Not really able to exert pressure for the time being. I still think DK are in okay position. They have the chrono online. They're gonna get a mech soon, and these two can kind of hold them through the mid game while the Death Prophet catches up.
Exactly. Considering how the top lane went, they're now giving a lot of space to Mushi by pushing that tower and not having anyone lane up there, so he's just free farming, and their supports, in contrast to the previous game, DK's supports have managed to set up kills. Lanham has been in all 3 kills for them, MMY has been in 2 of them, and Burning already winning the mid lane now even gets a gank. TA cannot stand in this mid lane anymore, and it's a really big problem for Ferrari. He's resorted to starting to farm in the jungle actually here, which is far from ideal. He's just too scared to be in mid, so even though they lost the tower early on, they're looking pretty good, and now looks like IG are out for more tower blood here.
Yeah, they have no points in Edict yet, though. Chuan's only level 3, so the push won't be that fast. Ice looks for a Chrono, but he gets Split Earth. IG are too quick on the trigger, and no Doom to follow this up. They already wasted it earlier bottom, so as a result, he will make his way out. But DK go for the trade.
Build, by the way.
What's that?
Void's skill build, what do you think? This is very unusual for me to see.
Oh, I guess he didn't need more points in the passives because he was already winning the lane against Doom, and so this way he has the best possible initiation for the team. I imagine that's the idea for Ice. He he was just crushing the Doom as it was.
Yeah, most of the time, however, this is also the reason why most Voids just get 2 points in Time Walk. Most of the time it's enough for the early game. The 900 distance and then the AoE of the Chrono allows you to initiate from Fog pretty much and get a good Chrono off. But this, of course, does reduce the cooldown and improve the slow by quite a bit. And I think a lot of the time you just forget that Time Walk actually has an attack speed slow. So if he jumps over a hero like TA, it does make a pretty big difference that this Time Walk jumps across a couple of heroes for Ice. It's mostly just a positioning skill, but it does quite a bit more than that if used correctly.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of which, 430 has gone for the phase boots build, so he doesn't really have much attack speed to begin with, and yeah, his physical DPS will be limited. It looks like for IG, after a great early start, Sin, they've kind of petered off. They're only up 1,500 gold. They're down on experience, and all things being equal, if this just heads towards the mid or even the late game, I gotta favor DK. I think IG are the ones with pressure on them to make plays. Not to mention, the TA is their main damage dealer for this stage of the game, and 430, as mentioned, he's resorted to jungling. He's not farming particularly well. Doing better than I would have expected at catching up, but yeah, still in the end, I think it's DK who are in a more comfortable position for now.
Yep, I agree. Let's see, in the mid lane, TA, level 8, 44 CS. He's going for a drum first here, which in many cases, you know, it's like in the last game when he was playing Void and you were like, he wants a little bit of everything. That's what drum does. It's good at a lot of things, but not great at anything. So we'll see if it's going to pay off here for Ferrari, of course. Oh, he's actually going to run straight into gank. Oh, he actually managed to get away from that. That was really close.
That could have been a really bad time, but he just happened to run into them from the high ground. If he's on the low ground, that's an easy kill for DK. Oh, actually, no, they weren't running with detection, so maybe not.
Still, yeah, let's see. They don't really have any damage over time if the target is invisible. So you're right. Chrono here from Ice. Very easy kill on Faith. Will they get a second one?
Lanham could have looked for YYF there, but the buyback comes out instantly. They've already used the Chrono Shackle. Gonna connect on 2. They Doom MMY. Power shot splashing through. Ice dropping low. Mushi, though, with the Ghost is starting to go to work. 430 also to fall here. It looks like he tries to retreat. He goes invis. Can he turn this one around? Mushi is just cleaning up. He's too tanky. They lose low. The Doom on Momoya amounts to nothing as YYF makes his way out. That was with a buyback, and they still lose the fight. A dieback for the Shadow Demon. To be honest, his goal not very important in this game, but just a sign of the times that IG buy back and still die again on a hero. That's 4 deaths for 2.
The mech from Burning was so important in that fight. IG landed their spells so well there. They got a 2-man Shackle from Windranger into a 2-man Split Earth from Chuan here on the Leshrac, and they actually had the damage it took to bring down DK's lineup if it weren't for that mech. And now...
And that was it, you know?
Like, that's the problem.
Like, they hit the 2-hero Shackle, and then they hit the Split Earth, and then that was it. They just don't have follow-up damage, and this is the one thing Windranger really struggles at as an offlaner. YYF, by the way, I don't know if we mentioned this, did go for a Midas. So I guess IG are looking to, you know, looking for more out of him than your standard offlane Windranger, but IG just like damage Sin. Like, they just didn't have the follow-up. That was a beautiful Shackle, beautiful Split Earth, and then nothing. And the other thing is, we see the problem for Doom this game. If he doesn't Doom Death Prophet before she ults, he just like threw a Doom out on Mirana, and even if they kill her, who cares? She's not that important to the team at that point, and to make matters worse, they didn't. But I feel like Luo, until he gets a Blink, just has no way to really control these fights whatsoever.
I think Blink Dagger first here actually is the best choice as well, because they need that. They need to find a way of initiating into these fights that enables, especially Ferrari, to go in. You saw he actually did a really good play in the end, managing to secure them 2 kills, but he did die for it, and he can't commit yet. Because no matter, as long as the correct hero on DK doesn't get doomed, this is not a game for TA to commit into any fights in. Even after getting a BKB, it's still going to be hard. I don't even know what I would go for as TA in this game. It's just going to be really difficult. And
yeah, I don't see if BKB feels almost useless. Like, DK's mostly physical damage. and there's Chrono. So
Yeah, I don't know what you would build here.
I think you just go like Blink Dagger maybe, or just Glass Cannon TA and just go straight for a damage item. I don't think defensive items will even help you. If you get caught, you're gonna die no matter what.
I'm tempted to agree with that. The only problem is if he goes for a full Glass Cannon build, he's still gonna be so afraid of using it because he has to come in close, and anything that catches him is a death, even if he just gets hexed.
I think it goes back to what you said before, which is just that TA just does not match up well against this DK lineup, and particularly against the Void. The Chrono is just such a psychological problem for 430.
Bot lane. Gonna have another tower trade here, it looks like. Chuan doesn't have Edict though, so the push is way faster for DK, and I don't even know if IG can actually even get this mid tower, so it's gonna be a 2-for-1 trade for DK here, it looks like. And
MMY is being caught out here by 430.
Really far behind. He has a Yules. 14 minutes in. Face Yules. It's pretty good.
Meanwhile, MMY is being dove bottom lane. 430. There's your drive-by. Pun intended. They will clean him up. Now, Ice goes in mid. He chronos, and it only connects here on Chuan, but it really keeps Faith out of position. He tries to walk in, get off the defensive disruption. He will do so, but I think it's already too late. Then Ice is doomed after chronoing. Huh. Well, very questionable chrono, or Doom, I would say. And now they'll lose Faith as well. Burning, charging in. Faith isolated in the trees. He'll go down, so a 2-for-1, even counting the drive-by 430. It's just, I don't know about that Doom. I don't think it matters, but ugh, that wasn't good.
Yeah, kind of a panic Doom. He was just like, look, I'm helping. This is what my hero can do right now for our team.
It's like, I gotta use my spells, guys.
Yeah. You can't say I didn't Doom them. That's not why we lost the fight.
Yeah, I guess that's the worst way to lose the fight, is just to not use your spells at all and have your team like, why don't you Doom somebody? So it's like, well, I did Doom somebody.
Yeah.
Just the wrong hero at the wrong time.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a right hero there, though. I think it didn't really matter what he did. He's still gonna lose it. And the problem here is that... Oh, actually, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, they just disrupt Split Earth, and the backtrack for Ice has been very weak. I gotta say, I'm not impressed by his Faceless Void Sin. He's clearly does not know how to play the hero. MMY will leap out.
That's what you get.
That's what you get?
You get few backtracks if you only have it on level 1. I mean...
that's fair.
He's going for a very greedy, aggressive build here, which
has been
working well so far.
I'm on board with the Time Walk level up, but I don't really think you need to be leveling Bash over backtrack. To me, he's much more important for Chrono than he is as a damage dealer, and well, I guess he's been getting them off most fights. But yeah, that is what you get, I suppose, with the level 1 backtrack.
Now tier 1 tower top fell, and immediate transition into Roche. This is something DK's lineup is very, very good at. Of course, they have a Medallion, they've got Death Prophet Ultimate, they've got Mass Serpent Wards. Very, very easy pickup here. Viper's gonna take the Aegis, and I think this... So I said before this game that in these best of 5 series, there's generally a couple of short games and some longer ones. I think this one could potentially end up being even shorter than game 1. DK pretty much has... They have everything they need to go high ground, and IG... Let's be honest, their high ground defense is pretty underwhelming. They have Power Shot, which is okay, and then Lishrak Lightning level 2, Shadow Wave level 2. I don't think it cuts it against this lineup, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think so either. They just don't have any threatening combo. Like, they have okay spam with the... Well, Lightning Storm's actually only level 2, so even that's underwhelming, but... Yeah, their spam's okay, but their killing power is pretty mediocre. Like, so what if they had a 2-hero Shackle? Everyone's tanky on DK. Mushi, you mentioned the early Yules, now he's got a Vitality booster, working towards the Rod of Atos, and Ice, well, actually has chosen to go full Glass Cannon, so maybe he's got to be worried about a Power Shot, but Shadow Shaman's got a Blink, he'll be sitting back, and Burning's tanky with an Aegis, so yeah, I really don't think they're worried about breaking the base. They also don't need to be fair. DK, if they want, can farm it out for some time, but they are looking for the pick-off mid right now. YYF heading out nearest tier 2. That's not a safe zone. If Ice sees him, he can go for a Kronos. You see YYF scrambling backwards. By the way, Doom is entirely opting to skip the Blink, and he's gone for a Necro Book. What do you make of this? This is pretty unconventional for Doom.
I think it's a desperate attempt at having some more teamfight presence, just having something more to throw at DK so they stand a chance in the teamfights, because they know this is not going to be one of those late game matches, most likely. It looks like DK aren't interested in that. So they need something that has value right now, and they're thinking a Necrobook could make a difference, just a little bit more passive damage during the fight. If it gets killed by Mushi's ultimate, maybe he dies from the reflected damage, etc. But Arrow, oh! Faith will probably just get, yeah, okay, he's gonna die.
Yeah, he caught that one, man. He caught it like a champ, and now Luo, he'll be next. He's hexed up, he's isolated in the Chrono, and down he goes. There's a buyback from the Doom here, but the wards and the Death Prophet ult are still cleaning up the tower. The tier 3 will fall soon. The Viper about to come back for round 2 of his lives. He gets doomed immediately, though. Maybe with the buyback, IG can turn this suddenly. Oh, that Chinese that Great Wall of China high ground defense works its magic, and IG they'll hang on for now. Albeit it cost them a buyback from the Doom, but that's a pretty decent defense, all things considered.
These shackle shots from YYF are so damn good. He finds the perfect angle once again, and looks like Chuan and YYF just have really good synergy in this game. It's not like it's close to not landing the combo with Split Earth. It's just Chuan knows the shackle is gonna land before it does. He's already ready with the Split Earth and hits it perfectly once again. And that shackle shot just saved the racks, hands down. If that would have missed, that was probably a lost game right there. So big play so far from YYF. He also hasn't died yet. He's been playing a really solid game, but just the composition of their lineup, I think he's perhaps also the hero that has the easiest time against DK's heroes. Ferrari going greedy here on Ice Ice Ice. That's not going to work.
Yeah, I thought that was going to go south for Ice Ice Ice. He went in with Mask of Madness activated and no Chrono. And he took one meld shot, lost like 2/3 his health, but then the backup arrived, and in the end, 430 just had nowhere to go. His Blink Dagger was disabled, could have melded, but DK would have been ready for that. Well, actually, no, they still don't have detection. I'm not surprised about that. But either way, Sin, I guess the other thing to mention is they did take the tier 3 mid. In spite of that being a really good hold by IG, now they've got to do it again without a tier 3 tower and without a Doom buyback. Yep. So one more good Chrono, and that's the first lane of Rex for DK.
There is no Aegis this time around, though, so I guess it's, in that regard, kind of even, but I think the tier 3 tower is the bigger deal. DK have way more flexibility in how they can position themselves now. I don't think Mushi had the ATOS in the previous fight as well, which, considering his start, he's done a great comeback here. Yuel's ATOS at 20 minutes is very nice here, and
this is not very nice for 430.
Chrono.
Oh, comes in and connects on 2. 430 was disrupted, but that's only going to set up an easy kill on him. They'll lose 2. They're probably losing their first lane of racks here as the wards begin to pound away, and the glyph will be popped, but it feels like a desperation glyph. Still the wards stand strong, burning Mushi in the front lines, banging away, and they'll punch the front door down soon enough. Chuan actually gets caught out, catches an arrow by MMY. Down he goes. DK marching forward, cleaning up the first lane of racks, retreating out easily, and IG just can't fight into it. They know it. They know round 2 will come soon enough. They'll lose their second lane of racks, and they can't go into this much damage. Once the Death Prophet wards get dropped, it's all over Red Rover. So GG, DK they made it what was once a best of 5, now a best of 3 as they take game number 2.
Yeah, and what's funny about this is that a lot of people were expecting, best of 5. These two Chinese teams have a tendency to play late game. This series is going to take 5 hours plus. We've now had 2 games that were less than 30 minutes each. I think the first one was like 26 or 27 before DK conceded. Now IG only 21 minutes in. So 45 minutes of Dota over 2 games so far, and I would still be surprised if we don't get one of those long games, LD, but so far we haven't even been close.
Yeah, I feel like this game was just too much emphasis on the laning stage for IG. Going that Shadow Demon Leshrac combo, and then picking TA, normally you pick her to dominate the lane, and then Viper gets snapped up by DK. They couldn't even win mid. The Doom safely got crushed by the offlane Void. Like, if we really look back at this game, I would say DK won 2 out of 3 lanes, and Mushi came back. I mean, he had a bad start, but he ends the game with a very solid performance. 86 CS, second most, and 3-1 and 3. He had just the 1 death. That was it, and they invested a lot in trying to kill off the Death Prophet, shut down the defensive tri-lane for DK, and DK just made the right adjustment. Shadow Shaman goes bottom. I think IG needs to draft a little bit less reliant on laning stage dominance, and a little more of a versatile opening. But the other thing I'd like to credit DK for is knowing how to deal with Doom. You see a Doom picked up early, and you just go for tanky cores that don't care that much about being Doom. Death Prophet, Viper, and the Void, if you need it, could have gone tankier. So I think DK just drafted a bit better this game, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like more so than game 1, this was a strategic win. I think maybe in the first game, IG also had a little bit superiority in the strategy, but this game was just very well planned out, well executed by DK as well. And even though IG, like we said, actually got off to a good start in their lanes, it just wasn't enough because they didn't win mid. TA never became a factor in this game at all. And you can't fight into this kind of lineup with TA. I was very surprised to see that pickup. It was after the Death Prophet and the Shadow Shaman. There's so much damage with so many instances that I just feel like that was a drafting mistake, to be honest, from IG. I'm not sure what they were expecting, but unless they were expecting to lose in 21 minutes, they didn't get what they wanted.
Yeah, it was not what the doctor ordered, I would say. Well, guys, with that being said, it's a Game 2 victory here, going the way of DK. It's a best of 5 now, resets to essentially a best of 3. We've got potentially 3 more games to go. IG, well, let's see if they bounce back. Game 3 coming up next. I'm LD. I'm joined here by Sinner, and we will be returning momentarily for that game number 3. Stay tuned.